A man holds Peter as the shield. Little May aimed but dares not shoot, lest Peter falls too. At a critical moment, Peter signals Little May, who shoots the man in the arm. Peter turns, shoves the man into the beast's jaws. Only the two remain, and the sky gradually brightens. But the president backtracks, cancelling the prior rules, clearly wanting the ill-fated couple to fight each other. They realize they've been manipulated by her. Neither wants to hurt the other, so Little May suggests eating deadly berries together to protest the arrogant woman. At the last moment, the designer stops them. It's the first time two winners emerge, but the designer's flaw backfires. Little May single-handedly rewrites the game rules for the ladies in charge, but little do they know. The ruler is plotting a much bigger scheme. Post-games, May and Peter amass wealth and move into a mansion in Winner's estate. One day, Little May returns home to find the president waiting. To assert his authority, he demands they show respect in the national tour, show gratitude and obedience to the capital, or lose loved ones. Faced with threats, Little May can only submit. They first arrived at District 11, where Little May grew up. Reminded of Yoon Sang's help, she spoke freely. Instead, she voices her true feelings. Moved by her sincerity, people raise faith symbols, but soldiers execute the leading elder on the spot. To protect the innocent, Little May plays it safe in other district speeches. But some youth know it's false and still raise faith signs high. You can guess their fate, but as time passes, rebellious sentiment rises, even among the president's granddaughter. She starts rocking Little May's hairstyle to Mockingbird fandom has officially taken flight. If this continues, the situation will worsen. The president increases pressure to control people, and soldiers clear black market goods in District 12. Little May's boyfriend gets arrested and tortured. The president really wants to get rid of her, but he can't let this hotshot just vanish into thin air. A game designer meets the president, claiming he can make Little May vanish appropriately in the game. The Hunger Games happen every 25 years, and this year's 75th edition is like a third-level extreme challenge. Subtitles tributes are now chosen from past champions of the 12 districts, not randomly from young people. Sadly, District 12 has only 3. Little May, Peter, and their mentor on the list. The female tribute is Little May, and the male will be chosen from Peter or the mentor. The host picks the mentor, but Peter volunteers to compete again tributes with no time for farewells. Upon arrival in the capital, the stylist designs new outfits for them. On opening day, Little May and Peter make their final entrance. They are back in those snazzy flame outfits, lighting up the arena. Before long, they arrive at their sparkling new training ground. Their foes are no longer rookies, but past Hunger Games winners. To survive, they must find allies. But opponents look fierce and untrustworthy. Then a couple catches Little May's attention. She finds out they are both scientists after a closer look. The couple is very easygoing, sharing how to detect electromagnetic fields. An electromagnetic barrier sits before the judges' table, which Little May guesses she set up last year. No wonder judges were on guard. Then she met Elderly Magnus, a deaf-mute Hunger Games champ. Now she competes for the youth. Little May learns silk-making from her and, in return, teaches her archery. Little May scores perfectly in the training room. Her agility draws many competitors' attention. Over half want to ally with her. Little May doesn't want to harm friends. She and Peter vow no alliances. In the final skill assessment, Peter displays his art skills. He draws a picture of the moonflower on the ground, which ignites Little May's fury. She hangs up a dummy and starts mimicking some over the top. The model's chest bears last year's designer's name, called indirectly by Little May, a blatant challenge to this year's designer. The Hunger Games start next day. All tributes are implanted with nano-trackers. Little May bids a fond farewell to a stylist, whose help is key to her success. But as she enters the tunnel, soldiers rush in and beat the stylist. Little May watches helplessly as her friend dies, powerless to act. The creator of Flame Girl is now in grave danger. This is the president's revenge on Little May. All around her will die. As the elevator rises, she enters a new arena. The Hunger Games officially begin. Weapons and supplies are in the center. As countdown ends, Little May jumps into the water. She swims desperately first to shore, grabs her bow, then spots Nick. Thank goodness it's her ally Nick, who was the youngest winner at age 14 in Hunger Games history. Two quickly rescue Peter from the water, and then they grab Magnus and barrel into the woods, definitely a makeshift alliance there. First things first, they need fresh water. Peter, brandishing a machete, leads the way when Little May spots something off with the light ahead, only to realize it's an electromagnetic shock leaves Peter unconscious. May panics, but Nick's CPR revives him quickly. To find a safe route, Little May climbs a nearby tree. She finds a magnetic field in the sky and shoots at the clouds. Turns out the electromagnetic spot is a poor marker. They are at the arena's edge, making natural water finding nearly impossible in this enclosed space. As dusk falls, they find a spot to rest. The sky projects the day's death toll, 8 dead in one afternoon. Meanwhile, the mentor sends supplies. Not an ordinary tap, plug it into a tree, and fresh water flows out. After drinking, they are about to rest when 12 midnight chimes ring out. They go to sleep. Little May stays on guard. As a distant tree is hit by lightning, she's unbothered until later. Suddenly, dense fog swirls behind her. Little May touches it, feeling searing pain as blisters erupt on her hand. She urges everyone to flee the toxic gas, but it spreads fast. All sulfur burns at varying degrees. Magnus can't keep up.